Hello and welcome to the Varietal Show. My name is Rory and you're watching Varietal Literature's YouTube channel. This is a channel where some writers have fun with narrative. Today is Thursday, and Thursdays at 6:30 we do what's called a write-along stream. So if you were here for Folklore Folktales, I have a really cool one about creatures from D&D and their origin stories that went up this week, but that happens on Tuesdays. What we're doing tonight is we're going to play a solo tabletop RPG, which we've played a little bit of before, and we're going to use it as a prompt to do some writing together. You can either help me write what I'm going to write in the main sort of body of the stream, or you can write along stream, and put it up in the chat, or if you're not watching this live, put it down in the comments below. For the most part, I'll probably read it aloud. I'm always interested in what people write. So we're basically just using the game as prompts. I'll tell you about the game, how it works, what our concept is in a second. If you want to jump ahead to that and you are not watching this live, down in the description below, there will be little timestamps. You can jump ahead to the results, to the writing, to the explanation, whatever interests you. I see Jenna and Big Drew and GS are in the chat. Hello, hello, hello. It's very good to see all of you. We're going to play a variant version of a game we played last week. I just want to say that game we played last week, called Alone Among the Stars, is one of my favorite things I've ever played in a tabletop setting. So much so that I went and I just kept doing it. I kept making entries for it. The other thing I want to mention, and I'm going to mention this now, but I'll bring it up if I remember at the end of the stream as well. Itch.io has a charity bundle where they bundle a bunch of their games and you pay extremely reduced prices and it goes towards charity. In this case, it was a charity for people who, are thinking of ending their life. And I'm forgetting the name of the charity, so that's all I got for you. But anyways, this bundle included 150 solo tabletop RPGs. In fact, I tried to download them all today and I just couldn't get through it all. Which means that the stream's like set for the year, man. We've got so many interesting things to do, and I'm going to bring up a few options at the end and see what people are interested in playing on the stream with me, but it's everything from like playing as sort of the writing journal entries or diary entries or little story sections or whatever else as an NPC in D&D, or so you're hearing adventure stories, or there's another one where you're the heir apparent to the Devil's Throne. There's a bunch of them in there, and I'll talk about it a bit later, and we'll talk about that. But tonight, oh hey, Felix is here. Hello, Felix. I'm assuming you're going off to work because Felix is in another time zone, but if you're not, feel free to jump in. Or you can just hang out in the chat and write along. Okay, that is entirely enough talking about nothing but stuff that interests me, and let's get to the Lit Game. Lit Game stands for literature games, and it's expressive games, lyric games, solo tabletop RPGs. There's 1,000 different names. Nobody can really decide on which one they want. I like expressive games as the term, personally. And the one that we're playing tonight is a variation on one that we played last week. Now, the one we played last week was themed around sci-fi. This one is themed around an ancient city. It's called Alone in the Ancient City. I'm going to read you the little intro blurb, and then I'm going to tell you, because it's a role-playing game, the role I want us to play. Spoiler alert, it's the obnoxious, probably American traveler. Nothing against my American friends, but if there's ever a list, whenever they make a list about who's the worst tourists, you're always on it. I'm sorry. Alone in the Ancient City. You are a lone traveler in a bustling ancient city. People have flocked here for thousands of years. You decide to stay a while, explore each district of the city. Each district has features that make it unique. They are represented by cards. I'll do the technical stuff. The point is, we'll get some prompts. We need to write a journal entry about what we see, a sort of travel log, except we're going to do it in the voice of somebody who's just unimpressed by everything. Now, I have a couple of reasons, a couple of ways that we can approach this. And chat, if I still have your attention here, here's my question. what kind of obnoxious do we want to be? Do we want to be like the Instagram posting selfie, shallow, oh, I had such a spiritual journey, and then is like very dismissive of things or gets stuff wrong? Do we want to be that kind of obnoxious? Do we want to be the obnoxious, the like boomer obnoxious, where like just everything that's different is wrong and not enough people speak English and whatever else? Do we want to be that kind of obnoxious? What kind of character should our traveler be? And while you discuss that in the chat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set us up for our first round. Now, for those who are interested in the mechanics of the game, all you really need is a deck of cards and a D6, which is just for normal people, that's a regular dice. There's a lot of types of dice when you're a nerd. Okay. Yeah, basically the way we start the game is I'm just going to roll the D6. And I got a 3. Okay, so that means I'm going to draw from the deck 3 cards. Those 3 cards, based on their suit and their value, I was going to say number, but they're not all numbers, will tell us sort of in broad strokes what we encounter. So, we're not supposed to look at them. Sorry. So that one goes away. It was 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to lay these 3 out. Here. We can grab them in any order. Which means in this ancient city, there are 3 things for our obnoxious tourist to discover. And I'm curious which one people have come up with. Jenna says, my fave type of traveler to laugh at are the 1-star Yelp reviewers of national parks. So the person who's impressed by nothing. Okay. I like that. Felix says, I'm in class right now. Are you teaching it or are you taking it? But the Instagram influencers sounds hilarious too. Big Drew says the contrarian, the traveler is stoked, jazzed, and super excited about everything, but also completely apathetic. I'm afraid I don't get an image from that, Big Drew. I'm not sure what you mean. Holly's House says, what about local guy, obnoxious, always looking for some food, drink, store, or restaurant that is only local to where they come from and get really rude when it doesn't exist there. And then gives you long speeches about how great the bland thing he's looking for is. Okay, I feel like we could do a couple of these combined, honestly. Ugh. Regular viewers of the channel know that this table is falling apart. And it is trying to do it again. Okay, let's put together a character really quick then here, because I don't want to, I don't want this to just be us tossing about ideas. So I think we've kind of landed on Instagram, influencer, unimpressed by most things. I'm gonna say unimpressed / critical. I guess if I'm being fully grammatical, be unimpressed by or critical of most things. This is going to be the most confusing way to put this, but this is the way I'll remember it. Myopic about valid experiences. Big Drew says, how about a know-it-all traveler who thinks he knows everything about the cities he's visiting? I like the idea of one who confidently says things that are inaccurate. The thing is, though, this is a made-up city, so I don't know how to get that across. I'm going to put it in because I like the idea, but I don't want to use a real city because I feel like that's going to go bad. Okay, know-it-all about the culture he only just arrived in. Okay. Okay, that's probably enough for now. We've got enough to work with, right? Because that's a lot to keep in mind as it is. So we'll put it there. Okay, which means I now roll the dice again and I draw one of our cards that we got. So it's another 3. I'll show you what that means in a minute. Let's draw a card. It is a 2 of hearts. Okay, so what that means is how we came upon it is what the first dice roll there is about. And on a 3 or 4, you come upon it suddenly. So it's a discovery we suddenly found. And just gonna put that here. And it's a 2 of hearts. Hearts means it's interesting people, such as elders playing chess in the park, young lovers in the balcony, frolicking children. So remember, we're not going to be cynical about the city itself. The character will be, but we aren't. We're going to come up with something that is genuinely interesting, and then we're going to have that person do a terrible job of presenting it. So think about interesting people in an ancient city. It's not like a magical city or anything. This is like Athens or something like that. Could be any era, really, but probably mostly modern since we're going kind of influencer. And it was a 2, which means we found it under the light of a street lamp. So putting that all together, we came upon it suddenly. It's something to do with an interesting person in this city under the light of a street lamp. Okay, chat, putting those together, what do we think we found? Man, the chat is active. Okay, so let me just read some of the stuff that chat is saying. Holly's House says, okay, fans, Varietal Vixens, for only $3 a month on the Varietal Patreon, you get early access to Rory's nervous breakdowns and fund a new table. By the way, if you do want to help support the channel, by that I mean me, because I cover all the costs, in the description below, there's a buy me a coffee option. You can buy me a coffee. I do really enjoy coffees. I'm a coffee nerd. But mostly it's going to go to hosting fees and things like that. Also, these little games that I buy and some other stuff. Sometimes just coffee. That's an option, but you don't have to do that. The city is called Condoleezza Risingham. I like the pun, but I'm not going to name the city right now. Felix says, I am, quote unquote, teaching the class. Excellent. I love that you're watching something with sound while doing a job. Lecturing the natives about their own culture. Okay, so nobody's given a recommendation of what the interesting person is. So I'm going to have to go ahead and say, let's say it's somebody doing a traditional performance art. Maybe it's like, maybe he's like a juggles flaming machetes. Okay. Yo, what up, fam? It's your boy. Oh man, we need a name. I'm leaving it now and right. I'm just gonna put Chad here right now. But you tell me what this influencer name is. It's your boy Chad coming to you live from this crazy old city. I am checking out some dude juggling flaming machetes. Apparently, this is like a big deal to the city's old old people and culture. It's not like meant to be entertaining. I think it's more about finding something about yourself as a man in the traditional culture anyways, it's cool and all, but after a minute you realize Dariel, where we keep it real, Jenna says. Gia says a good thing. The dudes that do it are all tatted up in like black tattoos. They don't seem to use much color like we do in the West. Maybe one day, though. I hate this person so much. I have written a character I hate. This is my villain in every series going on. Gia says keeping it real. Keeping it ignorant, more like. It's just a dude juggling a bunch of big knives with fire. And like, that's just me cooking for V-Day, baby. Lamau. Dariel. Out. Jenna says, "Heyo, thanks COD player 6969 for the 1,000 biddies and being lead cheer." Okay. I give this cultural tradition a 3 out of 10. Maybe a 4 if he had some booby tattoos. Booby tats. Just kidding. Lamau. Dariel out. We've made the worst person we've ever made on this channel. I hope we realize that. Okay. Let's do entry 2 then. Which means I gotta roll a dice. By the way, if you want to use the prompts, but you don't want to, I rolled a 6, by the way. But you don't want to like go along with the conceit here of obnoxious. You want to take it seriously. Go right ahead. I'm not gonna force you otherwise. It is a 9 of hearts. So we have a 6 on the dice and a 9 of hearts, which means we spot it as we are resting. Oh, GS says he doesn't even recognize that it is a cultural tradition. He just thinks it's a busker. This busker is a lame-o 3 out of 10, maybe a 4 if he had some booby tats. JK, LMO, .real out. Okay, so we spotted it while we were resting. And then it's a 9 of hearts. Hearts are interesting people again. What's the other one? The other one's a 3 of clubs. I'm just switching it. I don't want to do another interesting person in a row. But we know what that card is, so if you guys think of something when we get to it, we can use it. 3 of clubs. Clubs are pockets of nature, a majestic tree, a quiet park, someone's terrace garden, a well-tended a well-tended flower bed. Pockets of nature. And it was a 3, which is on the riverside walkway. So we're by the river on a little walkway. Okay, there's nothing that a person like this appreciates less than nature. So, with that in mind, what are we going to do, chat? Dariel, who by the way is very white, and that is his birth name was Peter, spotted whatever he's going to bring up next to his followers as he was resting. It's a pocket of nature, and that's the most important thing. What piece of beauty does Dariel fail to appreciate here? I'm going to have a drink of water. And a drink of coffee. By the way, if you're loving your boy Dariel, remember to like, spike this video. I'll be shutting down the channel now. It's just so gross. I cannot believe that is the tone that became popular. Like, there are moments in my life where I realize how detached I am from most of the world. And definitely that, like, the PewDiePie, whatever that psycho is, filmed the person in the forest, that is the tone. That's the people that are like winning the war here for people's attention, is something I'll never understand. Oh, okay, I got some recommendations here. GS says, how about some special flower that only blooms every 13 years? Perfect. Jenna also said there's weirdly geometric rocks, kind of like basalt stones on Giant's Causeway. I do like that, but I really like the idea that he's just going to be like super negative about a very rare plant. And the park rangers try to arrest him. I was like, it's going to be dead tomorrow. Why do you have to leave it here? Okay, what was the intro? We should use the same one every time. Yo, what up, fam? It's your boy, Dariel, keeping it real. Coming to you live from this crazy old city. Yo, what up, fam? It's your boy, Dariel, keeping it real, coming to you live from this crazy old city. I was just drinking here with my new lady friend, brackets, heyo. God, I hate this person. Okay, so the narrative now just has to be about bad things happening to Dariel. There's no satisfaction in this stream if he just does fine. Local girls be fire. Ugh. When I noticed a crowd forming, you know me. I'm a little low here, aren't I? Let me adjust this up a bit. He picks the flower, Rory. Definitely he's going to pick the flower. Definitely, GS. We are on the same wavelength there. Oh, good call, Jenna. The drink needs to be sponsored. I was just drinking a fresh white lime kiwi Conquer power soda here with my new lady friend. You know me, I never miss a crowd. So I let my lady catch the tab and hopped over so we wouldn't miss it. I guess they don't do the A. We wouldn't miss it, fam. God. Anybody who unironically says fam, you're allowed to, like, just push them, right? Talk about mega disappoints, though. It's just a big ass flower. They were giving speeches about this big pink flower, and I was like, I know my fans. They gonna wanna see me put this rare ass flower in my hair. Oh wait, okay. I forgot to establish that it's this big pink flower only blooming every couple of weeks or years, or decades or something. And I was like, I know my fans. They gonna wanna see me put this rare ass flower in my hair. Jenna says, and it don't even smell nice. I know what the third entry is going to be, which is a shame because, you know, I like to have participation of the group, but you're going to have to trust me when we get to the third entry. I know exactly what I'm going to do. They're going to want to see me put this rare ass flower in my hair. Dude, it smelled like an old lady in a rolled in one of them bowls of smelly wood chunks you see in doctors' offices. I don't think he'd know what potpourri is. Anyhow, it was super lame My pic's all blurry. Because the pigs tackled me. I understand ACAB now. Y'all. No more blue line for this boy. That's what it took to radicalize him. And now I be in some barred up waiting room. Waiting room that is mega anti-dank. Jenna says dank has to be used, so there you go. Lamau. Yeah, boy. Be out. Okay. We know what the third card is, but I don't want to use it. So, I'm going to draw another card. It's a 7 of spades. I don't think we've had any spades. Unless you guys had, like, something really good for the interesting people. Okay. Oh, and I need to roll the dice. That is a 4. Big Drew says, I kind of love the way your own idea is making you cringe and hate everything about writing. Yeah, absolutely. It's also making me laugh, though. On a 3 or 4, you come upon it suddenly. Okay. So let's do prompts. I realize that anybody who's not, like, as chronically online as myself is going to be, like, a little confused as to what the hell's going on here. And we had a 7 of spades, which was spades are public art. Awesome. So that can be bronze sculptures with well-rubbed features, colorful graffiti, painted mailboxes, street performances. And then the 7 means it's by a bubbling fountain. GS says, interesting person is definitely going to be the, or not GS, Big Drew, sorry, is definitely going to be the grower of the flower. I don't know if we'll have enough time, but that's a possibility. I'm going to try and write what I imagine will be the last entry here, because I feel like we have a little narrative going. Entry 3. Hello to my fans and supporters. I am writing today from the beautiful I'm trying to think of a name for it. Ogden Fountain in the center of a culturally progressive yet beautiful, I'm just going to keep using that word, city. I want to clarify some of my previous statements. Discuss a bit about a few discuss some clarifications about a few what's the word I'm looking for? About a few headlines concerning me. Jenna says, I am terminally online and laughing so hard. Yes, you and me, Jenna. The rest of the world's like, people don't talk like this. This isn't a thing. They do, and they're unironic about it. Jenna says, oh my god, this is the apology notes screen cap tweet. Yeah, that's right. He got arrested. He got in trouble. He's getting canceled. This is the note that his lawyers looked over. Concerning me this week. And finally, talk about the future of the brand and my time in this city. Most importantly, I want to share come on. It's lagging on me. I want to share that that I did not realize at the time that fire tossing is a 3,400-year-old tradition that marks the passage of a young person into a life as a warrior for justice. Looking back now, I can see that the traditional tattoos are memories of one's ancestors and family that built them up to be that warrior. It is clearly a beautiful thing where tattoos of bare breasts would be highly inappropriate. Second, the holy flower of we'll make a D&D reference here. The holy flower of Lathander, god of the golden sun, as is known to us in modern times by stone tablets that predate the ancient Egyptian pyramids. Oh, GS has some good lines there. I'm a work in progress. Was obviously something I had no right to touch. I was intoxicated at the time and will be entering a period of reflection and sobriety in the West LA rest clinic as a part of my settlement. I apologize to the Church of Lathander and the people of this great city. Okay, and ooh. Kick the camera there. And then I am writing this spontaneous reflection as I watch my own reflection in the marble fountain of Ligarius. There's another reference. Which honors the founding emperor of the city and is surrounded by the traditional mosaics of the great people here. I am a work in progress. I hope those that are able to grant me grace will find that I reward their faith. Sincerely, ya boy, Dariel. Peter Dariel Johnson. Okay, I see Big Drew did his own one. Hey guys, it's Brad. I found myself in a pinch recently and had time to reflect on some of my recent posts and even more recent transgressions. And just wanted to say that I apologize for how I carried myself as Bradwick, #Bradwick. It was unprofessional, uncouth, and disrespectful to my family. Oh yeah, the family. My lawyers have advised me to recant and renounce all previous work and personalities and to pursue a more wholesome existence moving forward. I sincerely apologize to all who I've hurt. I will strive to be a better person, more upstanding citizen moving forward. This is Brad Hampton sending off. Peter Darrell Johnson. That's right. OGS says, and that the city will reconsider banning the public viewing the next blooming of the sacred flower of Lathander. Oh, wait. Oh, come on. There we go. I pray that the city will reconsider banning the public from viewing the next blooming of the sacred flower of Lathander. I also pray that the seeds they retrieved from my hair were not killed by my diving into the chlorinated pool. It would be very sad to lose the only existing flower for this 2,000-year-old tradition. Big Drew says, did my other 2 posts not come through? I read the 3 I saw. Yeah, I don't see others. I don't really know what informs why occasionally they just don't let you. Okay. Let me read back what we did. If you're clicking on this, it's because you're jumping ahead. Because you just want to know the results. So what we did is we were playing a game called Alone in an Ancient City, which is a variation of Alone Among the Stars. It involves us using cards and dice to get random prompts, which I'm going to put at the top of each of the posts, though I won't read them aloud. You can read them if you want. But we were doing it from the position of a character, because it's about exploring an ancient city as a tourist. We did it from the position of a character who is a obnoxious Instagram influencer. They are unimpressed by or critical of most things. These were the ways that we started with it. Myopic about valid experiences. We didn't really get to much of that. Know it all about the culture he only just arrived in. We do a little bit of that. It's 3 entries. There is a story that strings between them I think you'll like. Entry 1. Yo, what up, fam? It's your boy, Darreel, keeping it real, coming to you live from this crazy old city. I'm checking out some dude juggling flaming machetes. This is like a big deal to the city's old people and culture. It's not like meant to be entertaining, I think. It's more about finding something about yourself as a man in the traditional culture. The dudes that do it are all tatted up with black tattoos. They don't seem to use much color like we do in the West. Maybe one day, though. Anyways, it's cool and all, but after a minute, you realize it's just a dude juggling a bunch of big knives with fire, and I'm like, that's just me cooking for V-Day, baby. I give this busker a lame-o 3 out of 10, maybe a 4 if he had some booby tats. JK, LMAO, Darreel out. If you're thinking at this point, I hate this person, you should know, if you didn't watch me writing it, I hate him too. Entry 2. Yo, what up, fam? It's your boy, Darreel, keeping it real, coming to you live from this crazy old city. I was just drinking a fresh white lime Kiwi Conquer power soda here with my new lady friend. Heyo, local girls be fire. When I noticed a crowd forming, you know me, I never miss a crowd, so I let my lady catch the tab and hopped over so we wouldn't miss it, fam. Talk about mega disappoints, though. It's just a big-ass flower. They were giving speeches about this big pink flower only blooming every couple of weeks or years or decades or something. I was like, I know my fans. They're going to want to see me put this rare-ass flower in my hair. Dude, it smelled like an old lady rolled in one of them bowls of smelly wood chunks you see in a doctor's office. Anyhow, it's super lame. My pic's all blurry because the pigs tackled me. I understand ACAB now, y'all. No more blue line for this boy. And now I'll be in some barred up waiting room that is mega anti-dank. Lamau, your boy be out. Entry 3. Hello to my fans and supporters. I am writing to you today from the beautiful Ogden Fountain in the center of a culturally progressive yet beautiful city. I want to clarify some of my previous statements, discuss some clarifications about a few headlines concerning me this week, and finally, talk about the future of the brand and my time in this city. Most importantly, I want to share that I did not realize at the time that fire tossing is a 3,400-year-old tradition that marks the passage of a young person into a life as a warrior for justice. Looking back now, I can see that the traditional tattoos are memories of one's ancestors and family that built them up to be that warrior. It is clearly a beautiful ritual where tattoos of bare breasts would be highly inappropriate. Second, the holy flower of Lathander, god of the golden sun, as is known to us in modern times by stone tablets that predate the ancient Egyptian pyramids, was obviously something I had no right to touch. I was intoxicated at the time and will be entering a period of reflection and sobriety at the West LA Rest Clinic as a part of my settlement. I apologize to the Church of Lathander and the people of this great city. I am writing this spontaneous reflection as I watch my own reflection in the marble fountain of Ligarius, which, I realize I changed the name of the fountain, I don't care, which honors the founding emperor of the city and is surrounded by the traditional mosaics of the great people here. I am a work in progress, like this city. I hope that those that are able to grant me grace will find that I reward their faith. I pray that the city will reconsider banning the public from viewing the next blooming of the sacred flower of Lathander. I also pray that the seeds they retrieved from my hair were not killed by my diving into the chlorinated pool. It would be very sad to lose the only existing flower for this 2,000-year-old tradition. Sincerely, ya boy, Peter Darrell Johnson. Big Drew said, I had a whole thing about Bradwick. I stylized it like the description blurbs before TikTok and YouTube videos. That's a shame. I don't know. I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but I know this isn't the first time that YouTube has eaten your comments, but it absolutely has. It's not there. That's too bad, Big Drew. I hope you have some copy of it. Maybe copy and paste that before you lose it. All I can think is maybe it has like an auto... I don't think I have an auto mod on though, because it doesn't stop anything else, so I don't think that's it. The tonal shift, beautiful, says Jenna. Imagine the ITS art GIF. Since I can't post GIFs here. Oh, it's art. I get it. It's art. GS says spontaneous reflection in quotes. Yeah, spontaneous. Well, we did something stupid. We wasted time, and that is the point. If you like the stream, there is a button to acknowledge that. It's a stupid button, but YouTube has made me mention it. By the way, if I don't mention it, I just don't get likes, which is really unfortunate because I don't like it saying it. But it's true, though. If you liked it, please give it a like. If you have not subscribed to the channel and you enjoy sort of prompt-based writing like this, or if you're interested in hearing folk tales, some of which have never been read in English before, on Tuesdays at 6:30, that's what this channel does. We do some other stuff, but more rarely. You should consider subscribing. Oh, that reminds me. I have 150 solo tabletop RPGs, or expressive games or whatever else. I guess the best I can say is chat right now so I can make a decision for next week. I mean, we'll get to them all eventually. Not all of them. Some of them are just flat out bad, and some of them are basically jokes. But I'm going to ask you a question. Genre-wise, for next week, what do you prefer? Do you prefer something Western, something samurai, which is kind of westernized to samurai, like it's, well, not westernized, but it's the West, not even the West. Italy took that version, that image of samurai, and turned it into Western films that are known as spaghetti Westerns. That kind of samurai. So Western samurai, or do you want, what was the last one? Post-apocalyptic. There's a bunch of selections within that, but just to narrow it down, or wild card cutesy stuff. So in the chat, before I leave, let me know of those four. What do you want? Cutesy, wild card, Western, samurai, or post-apocalyptic. And we'll play a game next week. I might also just forget this and do something else. GS says, I know spaghetti westerns. Check the chat tomorrow, Big Drew. Well, I mean, if it doesn't come through here, I don't think it's been posted up. I think Big Drew got screwed. All right. Jenna says Western or post-apocalyptic? Okay. The post-apocalyptic one is interesting because it's a little more of a game. It's still journaling, but it involves me to sort of track damage and when you die, setting up a Jenga tower here and pulling pieces when you roll certain ways, and get injuries and stuff. So it has a little more of a visual element to it. Big Drew says I can't copy and paste. It's Control V. No, I'm kidding. I know you know how to do that. I'm just being a jerk. Okay, 2 votes for Western. Good enough for me. I will see the chat for a little bit longer too. You don't have to go home unless you're Dalriel and you just tore up a ancient old flower of Lathander. In which case, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here because you gotta go write your own apology letters. Thank you so much for stopping by. I've been Rory. This has been Chat with Jenna, Big Drew, GS, and Holly all helping out. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Get out of my shop.